Aaliyah is a name that echoes passion, talent, and unmatched potential. She was an artist who transcended genres, captivating millions with her voice and groundbreaking style. However, August 25, 2001, was the day she faced an unforeseen tragedy that cut her soaring journey short. She died in a plane crash alongside 8 members of her entourage while flying from the Bahamas to the US after shooting a music video. Why did this happen to such a rising star? Who is to be held accountable? This is the heart-wrenching story of how Aaliyah tragically lost her life as her career made waves. Join us as we unravel the mysteries surrounding her untimely departure. Aaliyah Dana Haughton, known to many simply as Aaliyah, was born in Brooklyn, New York, and later moved to Detroit. From a young age, it was clear she had a special gift. By the time she was just 10, she had started to show her singing talent on TV shows. As she grew older, her voice became even more powerful, and her talent shone brighter. She released her first album when she was only 15. Can you believe that? It was called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, and it became a big hit. The Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, certified the album double platinum after it sold 3 million copies nationwide. Many people loved her songs because they spoke about things everyone could understand: love, friendship, and growing up. This shining beacon in the music industry was affectionately known as the Princess of R&B and the Queen of Urban Pop. Sadly, despite all her talent and big impact, Aaliyah's time in the spotlight was short. But during that time, she changed the way people thought about music. August 25, 2001, started like any other day in the Bahamas. Aaliyah, full of energy and life, was there for her latest project, the music video for her hit song Rock the Boat. She was there with her team and crew, ready to make the video successful. They didn't know that this project, filled with hope and promise, would also be Aaliyah's last. As the sun descended, there was talk among Aaliyah and her crew. They had accomplished so much in a short span, and there was an idea. Why not head back to the US earlier than planned? Aaliyah, with the same decisiveness she brought to her music, thought it was a good idea. Returning early would mean they could get a head start on post-production and get some well-deserved rest. There was also chatter about a party later that night, a celebration for the hard work everyone had put in. But the allure of going home, of wrapping up a successful trip on a high note, was tempting. So the choice was made. Instead of dancing the night away on the Caribbean shores, Aaliyah and her crew would board a plane back to the US. A decision, seemingly simple at the time, that carried a weight they couldn't possibly foresee. The plane waiting to take Aaliyah and her team back to the US was a Cessna 402B. It's a compact twin-engine aircraft known for its reliability and often used for shorter flights like the one on which they were about to embark. But like all planes, it had its limits. However, before boarding the plane, Aaliyah expressed how uncomfortable she felt. She argued with her entourage, who tried to convince her that the plane was safe. The singer insisted she would not get on the flight and return to the taxi that brought them. One of the other passengers went with her and succeeded in giving her a sedative. She then fell asleep and was carried onto the plane. As Aaliyah's crew began to load their equipment and bags onto the plane, some eyebrows were raised. The plane started to seem too full. Bags were stacked high and large equipment from the video shoot was being squeezed into every available space. The weight of it all began to become a concern. The pilot complained that the plane was overloaded and was carrying more than it should have. Every plane has a weight limit and a balance it needs to maintain for a safe flight, and it was clear that this balance was being pushed. Yet perhaps the excitement of finishing a successful shoot and the rush to return home made these concerns fade into the background. At that moment, the pressing issue was to head back to continue the momentum of their success. But in aviation, overlooking weight concerns can have dire consequences. The weight of a plane determines how it takes off, how it flies, and how it lands. And that evening, with the sun setting over the Bahamas, the weight of decisions and of the plane itself was about to be tested. Aaliyah's hairstylist, makeup artist, security guard, and a number of her friends and co-workers from her record label were present, but she was sound asleep. As the plane gathered speed for takeoff, witnesses at Marsh Harbor Airport watched in mounting concern. Something seemed off. The plane struggled to gain the necessary lift. For a few breath-holding moments, it appeared to hover uncertainly between the pull of the earth and the freedom of the sky. They crashed almost immediately after takeoff, only 200 feet from the runway and between 60 and 100 feet in the air. Rescue workers rushed to the scene, but the fire's intensity and the crash's impact left little hope. Aaliyah, the princess of R&B, and 8 other souls tragically lost their lives in a moment that shook the music world and her millions of fans. In the wake of the devastating crash, the Bahamas Civil Aviation Department and the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, launched immediate investigations. The music world was shocked, and the grief-stricken fans were desperate for answers. What had gone wrong that evening in the Bahamas? How could such a promising journey end in such catastrophe? One of the most alarming revelations came to light as the investigation delved into the pilot's background. Despite the enormous responsibility of flying a plane, it was discovered that the pilot was not properly certified for the type of aircraft he was operating. This lapse raised serious questions about the thoroughness of checks and the oversight of regional aircraft operations. Even more troubling was the discovery of cocaine and alcohol in the pilot's system. This raised concerns about his ability to operate the plane safely and make sound judgments during the flight. While it's uncertain to what extent these substances might have influenced the crash, they undoubtedly added another layer of complexity to an already tragic situation. Yet the issues didn't stop there. The NTSB's in-depth analysis confirmed initial suspicions. The plane was severely overweight. The equipment and luggage, combined with the passengers, had overloaded the Cessna 402B, compromising its ability to take off and fly safely. This fact was undeniable, as the weight exceeded the plane's certified limits. The victims' families and representatives from Aaliyah's public relations firm raised lawsuits against Black Hawk International Airways. These continued until at least 2004. Most of the cases were settled out of court for undisclosed amounts. As the pieces of this tragic puzzle came together, the findings painted a picture of negligence, oversight, and ultimately, preventable errors. Aaliyah and the others aboard that fateful flight paid the ultimate price for grievous misjudgments. The news of the crash sent shockwaves around the globe. Fans, fellow artists, and music industry giants alike struggled with disbelief. Such a vibrant star, gone in an instant, was a concept too heartbreaking for many to fathom. Candles, flowers, and handwritten notes began to amass outside venues and homes as spontaneous vigils appeared in cities worldwide. Celebrities and prominent figures expressed their grief and condolences publicly. Social media platforms were flooded with tributes and remembrances, each post revealing the depth of Aaliyah's impact on individuals in the industry. Radio stations played her songs in loop, filling the airwaves with her hauntingly beautiful voice that would sing no more. But it wasn't just about losing an icon. 8 other lives were tragically snuffed out that day. And as stories of the other victims emerged, the world mourned them too, remembering each soul and the promise they carried. Amid this profound sadness, Aaliyah's legacy began to solidify. Her influence on the music industry was undeniable. Young artists cited her as an inspiration, pointing to her unique blend of R&B, pop, and hip-hop as a foundation upon which they built their own styles. Even years after the tragedy, her albums continued to chart, with posthumous releases reminding fans and critics alike of the immense talent that had been lost. Recognizing her significant impact, initiatives and memorials sprouted in her honor. Scholarships bearing her name were established to support young artists, ensuring that her spirit would live on by nurturing the next generation of talent. Streets and parks were named in her memory, turning them into permanent tributes where fans could gather and remember the princess of R&B. The tragic end of Aaliyah's life is a reminder of the delicate balance between our aspirations and the unforgiving reality of the world around us. While her talent and impact on the music world are undeniable, the circumstances surrounding her death underscore a broader issue that extends beyond the glitz and glamour of celebrity life. The paramount importance of safety and stringent regulations in aviation. The relentless pressure to be effective, quick, and on time applies to all industries, including aviation. However, these pressures should never come at the cost of safety. The failures that led to this heartbreaking accident, the overloading of the plane, the pilot's questionable credentials, and his compromised state, are not just individual errors but deeper issues in oversight and regulatory enforcement. Strict aviation regulations aren't just bureaucratic hurdles, but are designed to protect lives. It's essential to recognize and respect the boundaries these rules set. In the comments below, we encourage you to share your memories of Aaliyah, your thoughts on this tragedy, and your reflections on the lessons it imparts. As we continue this series, please join us in our subsequent videos.